Welcome to Din's Talk, the space where soul wisdom meets bold action. I'm Mia Dins, your host, here to ignite your fire, help you claim your power, and guide you to take unstoppable steps towards your dream. Every episode is designed to awaken your purpose, fuel your passion, and spark transformation in your life. It's time to step into your truth and never stop. Let's dive in. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another episode on Din's Talk. And today I'm joined again by beautiful, powerful Kylie Eddington. Kylie and I, we had a conversation over a year ago when we spoke about sound bath healing and frequency and things like that. But today we are going deeper. For those who haven't heard the first episode, I really recommend to tune in. And Kylie is one. She is a businesswoman, a real estate agent, a single mother actually of 4. And she is really committed to her job itself, which is not just a job because she actually provides a house for families and makes sure they're all comfortable. So she's really good at doing that. But at the same time, she's also really devoted to help her community by facilitating sound bath healing. And now she also is a mindfulness coach, which is amazing. We go more into that when we have our conversation. And just what I love so much about Kylie, what really attracted me and how we connected is that she is very devoted and she combines both like the softness, but also the discipline of a businesswoman, but also the mindset, the strength, and she just embodies both. You can be soft and powerful. And I think we all women need to hear this. And I'm so excited, Kylie, to have you back on this podcast. And I know you have had so many upgrades. I mean, a year ago, and I can't wait to hear what you have been going through and all your experiences and what has shifted for you. Because as we all know, guys, 2025 was a year of big transformation, change, letting go, shedding. Now we are in the fire horse, yay, year, and now it's all going, right? So thank you, Kylie, for being here again. I'm so excited and welcome.
So glad to be here. Thank you for having me on here again. It's always a very enlightening conversation that we have, and I admire you a lot for doing this podcast and highlighting what other beautiful souls are up to in this world. So thank you.
You're very welcome. And I know the world needs to hear what you are doing because you have your unique gift and you bring that to the world. I feel like, especially because you are a mother of 4 and you are a businesswoman, you have a home and you have a life and everything. You just are this example. You can have it all. It is possible. And that's what I admire so much about you, right? Because there are so many limitations that we have where people think, oh, but I have kids, I have that. And I mean, I don't have kids. I can only understand from a perspective, yes, it will change your life. There are other humans you need to take care of. And yes, you have to be better with your timing, with where you put your energy to. But you are just showing it's possible. When we last spoke, I remember you were in the middle of moving and you had actually a very stressful time. Not the very first conversation we had, because guys, we had actually in between, we recorded something when I was still in Spain. That was in July, but the recording didn't go well. And then we decided, okay, we pause it because we were both in lots of transitioning, and then we record when we are more settled, which is now more powerful for you guys as well. And you were in the middle of like a super stressful time. I remember you said like you had hardly time to eat and things like that. And what has shifted? Where are you now? Yeah, just share whatever comes up.
Now, I guess I'm more settled into my real estate career, kind of has calmed down too. It was kind of a slower winter. It has been slow with real estate sales. So there's always stress, right? There's always going to be stress in our lives, but there's times where there's more transitions than other times. And I feel like I have settled into more of a routine now of the real estate, the kids, my home, getting settled in a smaller home, simplified my life, and also getting the sound bath schedule kind of ironed out for the weekends. And I still travel for that, but I do have a studio space now. So that has helped, where I have a space to keep more of the instruments that I use during the sound bath, and just like a set space that I can market and advertise and reach the community. And then I can still travel, but I have like a home base now. So that has been really exciting to get that in place. And it's a beautiful studio in Topeka, Kansas.
Beautiful. What has shifted for you when, obviously when we practice and we do things, like we evolve, right? So when you think back of the first time you facilitated a sound bath healing, or the very first time you actually came in contact with that, and now your perspective, what has changed for you especially? Can you tell us about this?
Yeah, I would say that I feel more comfortable facilitating them and kind of have changed a little bit of how I play. It's really very intuitive play. It's not like I'm playing notes, like other instruments, but it's very intuitive to the room, the meditations and the mindfulness part of it before. I kind of changed that just depending on who was there and just kind of the energy in the room and even the age group of people and the words I choose them carefully so that it's what's needed at the time for the people that are there. Sometimes I do mindful movement or yoga pilates prior to, but some of my groups are they just want to come in and like rest, just come in, lay down, go to sleep, listen to the sound frequencies. They don't want to move. So, it's just different kind of each time. And the bowls can even sound different in each different building that I'm in, or if I'm outside, if it's tall ceilings, if it's short ceilings, what the building is made of, the sound will sound different. So that's kind of something that I've learned along the way too in the last year and a half of doing this.
How subtle it actually all is, right? Because everything is energy and vibration, and that we actually, like we attune to the environment. And that's a big topic. It's not just the sound frequencies, also our body, our being, our mind, everything, our emotions. And that was, I think, more and more people start talking about that. But yeah, so many people underestimate that, and just so powerful how you were able to recognize that even the sound of your bowls, the sound bowls, it's different, and which is so powerful and beautiful. And when you now look back, I remember you shared a couple of examples last time, or testimonies, like when it comes to, because I love about the body, and I know you love it about too, how it can calm you down and stressful situations, but also with ailments, or even with the aging process or anything like that, really anything, if you have digestive issues and things like that with frequency. Are there some examples for yourself? I mean, you can,
Yeah.
your own
Yeah,
experience,
for
but also.
myself, for sure. I'm definitely feel like my body handles the changes, the weather changes better. I don't do well. I have fibromyalgia. So anytime Kansas is literally 12 months out of the year, there's a barometric pressure change and it causes aches and pains and headaches and sinus problems, allergies, stomach issues. And I feel like since I've been doing the sound healing, it's just taken everything down a notch, just calmed it down. I still feel those effects because I'm so sensitive and tuned in to nature and these changes that I feel things immediately when there's a storm coming in or there's rain coming in. And that happens as we age. Older people are always moving further south because it's easier on the body. And I feel like the sound healing helps with anti-aging and the muscle aches and pains that just kind of naturally occur as we get older. Hormonal imbalances. I feel like my hormones are calm, like everything just feels kind of smoothed out. This is kind of a silly story, but I had a massive wart on my pinky finger. Like we're talking, this thing took over my pinky for 6 years. Just within the last 4 months, I literally watched this thing get smaller every time I had a sound bath, and it's gone, completely gone.
Wow.
So that is something that, and I tried everything, the creams, they even cut it out at one point. So it's gone. My pinky's back. I have a pinky now that does not have a giant wart on it. Like I had never even had warts before anywhere, like on my fingers or feet or anything. I was like, what is this? And it has that ability because of the vibrations to break up, scar tissue, bumps, lumps. Things will just start to break up. It increases your blood circulation. So that helps my reaction in my fingers and feet that get very, very cold in the winter. So it's helped with blood flow in me also that I've noticed.
Mhm. I love that. It's not even a silly story. This is the story, because when it happens with the warts, then it can happen with anything. With your teeth, with your
Yeah.
hormones, with your hair. And I absolutely am a believer of that. I do not buy into this anymore. Like, oh, when you're 40, like everything goes downhill. Yes, of course, our bodies are changing, but I believe the telomeres, when they keep growing, extending, you can actually you can slow down the process of it for sure, with all the things, with frequency work, with how you think, what you eat, all the things, the
Yes.
movement. And I'm totally working on that too. Obviously, I don't have the beautiful sound bath healing like you do in person, but I use frequencies actually since about 8 years for different needs. And I work at the moment a lot with my womb space and with the regulation of my hormones, because it's completely was an explosion happening after we basically last spoke, and to recalibrate that as well. But also because my hair of hormonal imbalance, my hair was falling out, my skin was getting worse and things like that. So I do not buy in. Now it's only downhill. You will never grow back hair. And also it's all about how you speak to your body. Every day I'm just like, okay, I
Yes.
love, like really talk to the cells because they respond and it's vibrating. And of course I
Me
support
too.
every frequency. What is your stance on that?
Yeah, because of the water, because our bodies are made up of 60 to 70% water. So anytime you have vibration around water, we know what that looks like in a lake or a river or movement. And so everything is just cleansing itself when you have these sound vibrations, and especially the crystal bowls, because they're the closest frequency to the human body. So that vibration through a body that is mostly made of water, and we've got blood flow, right? So it's clearing the blood, it's getting things moving through, it's getting toxins out of us. So anytime that's happening with movement and flow through your body, you are going to feel better, and it's going to clear up issues, skin issues, hormonal things, because it's just like working it out of you. We are just so in tune with water. And that's another reason we feel calm and feel relaxed and feel renewed when we sit by a lake or we go to the beach and we sit in the sand and we can hear the waves or hear or listen to a river flowing. It's literally who we are as humans and how God made us.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And it's so true, because I don't take anything extra at the moment, because I wasn't in a position to do so, to support even the body. But I also am a big believer that we have all these amazing tools, and now on YouTube, right, we have all these frequencies available for free, so everybody can actually tune in. Like we said it last time, but I play that all day long, like just
Yeah.
whatever I need. And when I work, it's just like, to calm down, or healing
Mhm.
frequencies, anything that my body just needs. And I will always get guided to it. And it's so, so powerful. And I know it speeds up my recovery, like, helps to not worsen things if I feel a little bit more unwell, out of alignment. And I absolutely love frequencies. So thank you for doing this. It's amazing. And I love this story.
Well, we're so lucky that we have this knowledge now. Like, I would say 6 years ago, I didn't even really know about this. So for me, it's come about really quickly,
Yeah.
and now YouTube has all the frequencies. It's not the same as being in person with the crystal bowls, but it still has a huge effect on your nervous system by listening to those every day.
Yeah, and if you set your intention, and if whatever you believe will be. So if you set your intention, you really tune in and allow the resonance to happen with the frequency, and just let it take over without needing to control anything. I believe it will just happen. And talking about the resonance, like what is that? The heart body frequency coherence, like resonance. How would you describe that, just from your own experience? What is that feeling?
The feeling of having that. So it's mindfulness, really. So, really, you're adding sound to a meditation practice. So, when you come to a sound bath, it is like being at a meditation, but it's adding a whole nother layer to it that just kind of reaches every part of you. So, if you're somebody that has trouble meditating or sitting with yourself in silence, a sound bath is a really great addition, because it's almost doing the meditation for you in a way, because you are able to listen to that, let your body feel those vibrations, and you're meditating in that moment. Even if you're kind of like your thoughts are racing at first, or if you're relaxed, or if you fall asleep, it's a form of meditation and mindfulness, because you're in the present moment. You're not looking on your phone, you're not scrolling, you're not doing anything. And all you have to do is show up and just be there and sit still and let the vibrations and the music and the frequencies do the work that they just naturally do when they are close to you or when you're listening to them.
Powerful. And when people probably want to know, so how do you integrate it into your daily life? Are you playing the bowls every day, or are you just putting on frequencies on YouTube?
Yeah. So when I do quite a few sessions now per week. So I don't really play the bowls now on my own because I'm doing them for classes. Like, I don't know, at least 2 to 3 times a week, I'm doing classes and sessions and sound baths. So now at home, the tuning forks are very easy to take with me because they're so small. I can just carry them back and forth. So I kind of just keep those in a little purse almost. It's like my tuning fork purse. And I just carry that with me. I take it to my office when I work real estate. And then in the afternoon, when I get brain fog, I'm doing the tuning forks, all around. So that would be these two right here. So mostly my routine during the day is I use the tuning forks, when I'm not doing the sound bath sessions. And then I play the binaural beats or solfeggio frequencies on either YouTube, Spotify, or Pandora is where I find those for free. So that's a great thing that we have access to.
And do you do anything additional for your mindfulness work and your body, like anything more? And then, of course, people will ask the question, is it just the frequencies that help, or is it like they are guiding us to do more, or they open us up to
Yeah.
what's your...
Well, I think the perfect combination in my experience now that I have been working on this for several years of, what's the perfect combination for me that helps me just feel better? Um, it's the sound frequencies absolutely changed my life, and that's why I do what I do. The second thing is the mindful movement, which is a form of meditation. Being in the present moment, you're moving, you're stretching the fascia out, all these muscles that get tight just from living every day and going to work and taking care of our kids, and stress and the tension and the emotions that get stuck in certain body parts, and your shoulders get tense and then your stomach hurts. And stretching for 15 minutes a day will change your life too. So think about listening to sound. Stretch for 15 minutes while you're listening to the binaural beats or the solfeggio frequencies. And then affirmations would be number 3 for me. So those are the top 3 things. I used to be the person that was trying to heal myself through supplements, vitamins. Of course, eating better is very important, of course. But if your body is not ready for vitamins and supplements, all those things are wasted. If your nervous system is shot to heck and you can't calm yourself down, and maybe your mind is calm, but your body is in overdrive, you're getting physical symptoms of a nervous system that is like having an anxiety attack. Everything's going haywire, which happened to me in my 30s. And once that happens, you can take all the supplements in the world and your body is not going to recover from that. You've got to find a different way to get the body healed to a certain point. And then you can start supplementing with, things that might work and make you feel better. But you have to prepare your body for those things first.
It's one of my favorite topics. Thank you for going there right now, because that's what I talk about in my quantum embodiment, that which I do the program, or in general, that's what I do. And it's honestly, you can do anything you want, but if you don't look inside on the side, the nervous system, and it's something that I experienced myself as well, because I did all the things all the time, and more, and discipline, and honestly, it's so frustrating because you're like, but nothing is changing. It's actually getting worse, or what is it for?
Yeah.
But you need to look at the nervous system. And now I'm also at a time or in a phase where I've done so much shadow work for 2 years, like lots of things came up, and bring it all to the conscious and process and all the things. But the nervous system, the recalibration a lot. It's all about the nervous system recalibration, and the expansion can only happen when my nervous system feels safe to receive, to grow, and things like that. And that's what most people don't understand. And that's the hardest part, because it's very not tangible, and it's just where you need to train like a muscle. You just have to relax your nervous system. That's where frequencies help me a lot. Meditations help me a lot. And you just have to go through it, because people want to avoid that. It's the uncomfortable void. You can't.
Yeah.
If you want to expand, if you want to rise to the next level, you have to go through this. And just for an example, from when you were 30, you said, like, what happened? Like, what was going on there? And why?
It was a combination of things, but it was really, my kids were small and I had hormonal imbalances, and I was just kind of a nervous wreck. I was married then, and lots of stress. Age 34, I had a hysterectomy, and when I woke up from surgery, and I had been a runner, so I had dealt with my anxiety or stress through running. So I would have that runner's high, that you get, that you feel like you have to run every day. And I had been a runner since I was 12 years old. When I woke up from surgery, the doctor told me that I could not run again because really pretty much the damage from having 4 babies, and my pelvis is pretty small. Without going into a whole bunch of detail, he's like, it's just not, there was too much stitching that had to be done. And so hitting the pavement, high impact running is too hard on the pelvic floor when you've had multiple surgeries. And then later on, I had to have another surgery. So within 5 years, in my mid-30s, I had had my gallbladder out, the hysterectomy, then I had to have an ovary out. Then I had a finger surgery because they couldn't figure out what was wrong with my hand. I had a finger that swelled up, and I had Raynaud's, which is the autoimmune condition of the blood vessels. They constrict when you get cold. So my hands just got very cold and literally almost lost a finger, but they couldn't figure out what it was. And so then as this all progressed, and it moves around to different body parts, and really what it came down to was my nervous system was a hot mess. And that's what kind of morphed into, or learning that I had fibromyalgia, where it just moves around and emotions really can wreak havoc on your organs. And so it really was moving around to all different body parts. As soon as the gallbladder was out, then I was having ovary pain. My hormones were, out of whack. And finally, once I got divorced, that's when I started healing myself. And when I found the time and the peace to be able to do that. The solitude, the alone time, the reflection time, that when you go through something like that, and your life completely changes, you learn, you have to self-reflect. There's self-awareness that happens, and you learn, I guess, what I've learned. How do I change my health for the better? What is it that I've been doing wrong, that even though I was a healthy person, I still couldn't fix all those things that went wrong with me in my 30s? So it was a lot of hard lessons, a lot. And that's one reason I got into the more slow exercise, because fast running is actually, you're in the fight or flight when you're doing running exercises or really hard workouts. And so that's what I also learned about my body, was that I became a healthier version of me when I slowed everything down, where I had slow exercising. I went for walks, mindful walking. I did stretching that was not super fast stretching. I did yoga. I did Pilates. And slowly my body just recalibrated into a completely different version of me.
Wow, it's so powerful. Thank you for sharing this so vulnerably. I just saw so much in there, because it's exactly what I love to do and love to talk about, the messaging, like how your body, firstly, you're obviously hypersensitive. We all have different systems. We all process energy very differently. So, but I'm sure there are a lot of people who can relate to that, or even just parts of it, because it was this perfect sentence. When I got divorced, I started to heal. And when you started, I already knew that you were in the wrong environment, the wrong relationship. And it's not about like your ex-husband is bad or anything like that. It's not about blaming or shaming. It's just like when the frequencies don't match, when you're in the wrong environment, and not just with your partner,
Yeah.
but also with the people at work, like it can completely, your nervous system gets out of balance, and your body will just show you, your body will talk to you. It's like, it's like the oracle. And I experienced it myself. I mean, I didn't have all these operations. I had other things to go through, like pre-cancer, cervical, wanted to do operation, my hormones out of whack, constantly water retention, stomach ache. The thing is, you remember when I was still actively boxing, because my mind was so strong, I would just push through. I would just override my body over again for 8 years. And I never gave it time. And when I stopped, 2 years ago, that's when started to realize that was the real work. And like when you just said, like, you had all these operations, all these challenges, but the hardest work is when you actually untangle it all, when you let go of your old identity, when you actually let go of the running that was your coping mechanism, right? Running. I loved running too. Now I run slow
Yeah.
because I can still do it, but there are days when I'm not supposed to do it, right? And it's all about really tuning in. And of course, there is a lot of undoing of like, I'm like thinking I'm weak now because I cannot move the way I used to move and things like that. But that's wrong. Your body is changing things, you're adjusting, you're actually upgrading and you're evolving. I think I cannot go back to the old. And I used to think it's because I'm weak. No, I'm too evolved now. That's a difference because you expanded. And isn't it powerful? Because I'm doing the same. I do, of course, strength training, but slow. I do calisthenics, which is hard because you have to be really focused and it's all like really about slow movement, but that was so hard
Hmm.
to do at the beginning because I'm so used to from boxing, like go hard out and sprint and do all that. But now I'm actually really loving it. I'm really loving it because I really have to focus and of course stretching. I stretch every morning and do the frequencies or just nature sounds
Yeah.
and breathe and just feel into the body and like the self-love, and it's so powerful. My body has changed so much. I'm still in the middle of recalibrating because there's a lot of undoing, but when I compare to how I felt before, back in New Zealand 2 years ago, it was like when I look back now, how could I even do that? I was doing so much damage to my body and trying to push through. And I love what you said with the slowing down because that's where we get to what actually accelerates us in the end of the day. Because imagine now you would have kept going, you would have been
Yeah.
your body, you would have not been able, probably be hospitalized or whatever. I don't know what will happen. That is like literally your soul was speaking through your body. Stop. We need to change something, and that is a powerful. That's the powerful message that I want to give people out there because your body is not betraying you; it is guiding you, right?
No, it is. It's about tuning into yourself. And you feel like everything's a punishment. I felt like, what did I do? Like, I'm being punished right now through my whole 30s. And just, I felt like everything was so hard. And it really was a gift because every health issue, every ailment, and even now, I try to, you got to show yourself compassion and love. And that's really where the healing begins too, is the self care, self awareness, and self love. And that's where those affirmations and prayers really come in because you talk to yourself out loud basically. And it just really rewires that part of your brain to be like, okay, I'm safe now. I'm okay. And I can heal and I can move forward.
It is so powerful. And I know that people probably think now, okay, how do I do this? And I remember when I first started and I was doing actually, first it's uncomfortable. You look in the mirror and I looked myself deeply into the eyes. Firstly, I actually stared in the mirror. And that's a powerful exercise to do for like 3 minutes. Where I
I've
look
done that too. Yep.
crying. Because I've never looked myself that for that long in my eyes. I just started crying, and then you can see, of course, things that are every time what's going on when we look in the mirror. We first see something we don't like. My hips could be a little bit smaller, or my hair is not great, or my skin, or what, isn't it, right? But then you learn to transform that and change it and be like, I love your smile, or beautiful energy, or I love my hair, or whatever. Like, it's not about faking it. It's actually just really starting to appreciate something. We all have something we truly love or appreciate about our bodies, about ourselves. It doesn't have to be just
Yeah.
physical, and starting with that, and it's so powerful. And actually really I hug myself every morning when I wake up and just like
Mhm.
loving body, and I promise my body that I will never sabotage and override it again, and that I will fully trust it. And to do that is the first step, but then actually collect the evidence as well and listen to it when it says stop.
Yeah.
That is another thing, and that's where the nervous system recalibration happens. Because if you
It's
just
true.
right, if you just do all the affirmations but then you still not take the actions, then your body will feel betrayed even more, because the
It's so
cells are
true.
like, didn't she just say she loves me and she wants to give me all the rest, and then she's still pushing through? So that's, yeah, big difference, guys. Here you can't outdo that, because you can't just do all the love in the morning and then you completely go back to the old. But in the process of the change, it may happen at first a little bit like that. So that's totally a cool
Yes.
too. How was it for you?
That's where mindfulness really comes in with being non judgmental to yourself. And that's really what mindfulness meditation focuses on, is when you're still with yourself, or even during the sound baths, or if you're just home trying to do some stretching and quiet time, whatever random thoughts flow through your brain, and don't kick yourself, It's flowing through feelings, emotions, thoughts. They will change and be random. They might be racing one day. They might be not very nice to yourself, but we don't judge that. Mindfulness is all about not judging. So you sit with yourself, you sit in it, you experience, you feel it, and you let it go and you let it move through you.
Yeah, it's so true. And people think, I think they assume that when you are doing all this work that you will never have negative thoughts or any sabotaging. No, it's actually you become even more aware of it, to be honest.
Yeah, it still happens. It still happens.
It's the polarity of life. That's why we are humans. And even this morning, I was like, when I was getting ready, I was like, you look a bit tired, or I don't like how my hair is this morning, or my skin, or whatever, right? Or even when we set up the video, it's always like, oh, do I look, good enough, radiating? And it's okay to see that, but don't let it run you. It's the same like fears, doubts, all these things will always be there. I love the analogy like with the car. They will always be in the car, but you are always the driver and you take charge of it and you give the direction and to just let them be like, okay, hi guys, you're there, cool, okay,
Yeah.
and to start embracing that. And even if there are a lot of like these days now, when I invite insecurities in, that's how I pray. Actually, I invite pain, insecurities, fear, all of that. And if something goes wrong, which every day something happens, I'm like, okay, God, thank you for this, give me more, show me all of it, so get it done, because that accelerates the process. I know it's sounds a little bit masochistic maybe for people, and it took me a while, but right, it's always be brave for, and of course the beautiful things too, but this is how I learn. For me, that works the best because it just moved through me quicker. So
Yeah.
how do you do that?
Yeah, instead of just like a positive, like, I'm just going to be so positive today. Well, we know how the days go. Usually something goes wrong during the day, and
Yeah,
then you're kicking yourself because you didn't stay positive. Well, you got to be realistic too. We are in a stressful and the world's on fire around us right now. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's a little, it's a little crazy out there. So the positivity thing, just we can't always be positive. So we have to embrace that. And that's how we get through the hard times, is by embracing that we're not always going to feel okay. And there's going to be some really hard days.
yeah.
But we have tools. We have tools, right? And so we kind of pick our tools that help us feel better.
How dare, we are human, right? How dare.
No.
I don't know anything, but what I mean, like I feel energetically what's going on in the world, and of course people talk, but I do not know anything about politics, about things. I know there's war, I know there's cruelty happening, I know all of that, but I changed my mindset to that ages ago in my 20s or early before that, where I stopped watching TV. I had a long time to fight that. I thought I was ignorant, but I just focused what can I do, and I focus on what is right in front of me. And most importantly, how can I be the best version of myself? And then I can help, but I cannot help anyone if I'm, like keep feeding myself. And that's just my opinion. I understand there are lots of different people and we all have different roles here in the world, which is the beauty of it. There are some people who are right at the front and they're doing this fight, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I personally, for me, because I'm so sensitive as well, it would just, yeah, then I would just get caught up and I want to save the whole wide world. And then I probably end up not living at all. And it's true, right? Because, yeah, but I do my very best and I can just energetically feel it. And just what he said with the tools, like I'm going through a phase right now where I need all the tools that I can grab onto just for myself to, because my nervous system is recalibrating big time, so much expansion, so much clearing was happening. Then of course you feel the energetics of the collective and things like that. And I'm also the first time, with my soul family here, and like which I wasn't used to, receiving all this love and being with people, because I have been on my own for 2 years and a nomad and didn't have really connection. I was always off grid, which was God wanted to spend more time with me at that time. And I need to really recalibrate. It's crazy how the body responds. It's crazy because, for example, right now I have strong bleeding since a month, and it won't stop. It gets stronger and stronger. And obviously, I work with my frequencies and with a lot of with my womb space. A lot of that's how I release at the moment, and how my system, because the sacral is connected to survival. Maybe you have your opinion on that as well, to survival. And also it's actually when you shift your identity, which I have done so many times, and now I'm working really highest version and really embody that, that is the release that happens. And of course, I had, release of shame and the sexual trauma and things like that, and the cord cutting even more. I've worked on that already for a long time, but it's almost, I feel like it's the final cleanse. And also the first time I get to actually relax, my nervous system. Okay, there are people, like my family's here, I'm safe, we have this beautiful space here, like a sanctuary in the south
Mhm.
of like Australia. And right now, just the river and the trees and everything, and so peaceful. And I think my nervous system was not used to it because I constantly was in survival and had to go to the next thing and plan, and constantly in this masculine energy, penetrating masculine energy, to always think about
Yeah, that's kind of me right now too. Just always having to work, 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 work. So your place sounds beautiful in Australia. I bet it's amazing.
It is. I will send you some pictures later, but yeah, and that is something that I'm working on with the womb space, because I know I don't want to. I do not say, oh, it's nothing. I know already there is something going on, and of course I'm going to be careful, because your body gets depleted, and lower iron, and I'm already raw vegan, so a lot of things to consider. But it's incredible how powerful the body is, and how much I was actually holding on to, which I did not realize. I fully underestimated that. So, and imagine
Yeah.
now I would go full guns blazing, and I would push through and would do all the, mindy, masculine, penetrating things, and yeah, push through. Nobody will stop me. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's why
Don't
this
do
is
that.
really,
Relax yourself for sure.
yeah.
No more pushing through.
No more, but it's not even just, now it gets really subtle. I'm sure you have experienced that when you go further in your journey. It's like, not, I definitely don't do like, oh, now I need to work out for 2 hours, and or prove myself, or I have to work now 10 hours a day and things like that. This I already like, am very aware, and make sure I have enough rest and breaks in between, so to adjust my
Yeah.
body. But it's more subtle, like,
That's the other thing when you're in the middle of healing, along with, sound, movement, doing the affirmations, like that mirror work is important, talking to yourself in a positive way. Um, the sleep, getting enough sleep will change your life also. People like don't allow themselves to rest. And if you can get that, it's different for everybody, and women need more sleep than men. So that's been scientifically proven. Women need sometimes 2 to 4 more hours a night than men do. So we have hormones, and our bodies are constantly recalibrating and changing because of our hormones through our entire lives, and men don't have those changes. So we need extra rest, which helps the gut health, your stomach, your nervous system, all of it. So it is up there with, getting out in the sun, sunlight, sleep, sound. It's so important.
I know we talked about the sleep part last time, but ever since over a year ago, I realized even more how important that is, because before I was all about like, yeah, I get up at 4, and with all the training and things like that, and hardly have 6 hours of sleep, which is not enough, especially when you train a lot, and especially when you
Yeah.
heal, or when you have a lot of stress, you need a lot more sleep. And I understand people now say, you have kids too, but you have to be as disciplined with your morning get up routine, the same with your night routine, like get off your phone, like make sure you have this time and set up. And I know it can, and sometimes life happens, you go a little bit later, and that's okay too. We're talking like the day, day to day basis. But I work, that's another thing, what people actually can do to work with dreams, because I'm such a, because I'm also like a medium and things like that. I also worked with dreams a lot since I was little, but I only started using it really now. I actually command my body at night to fully recalibrate, to give this,
Mhm.
to get everything through the night. And whatever I'm going through, if I have a question, for example, now I'm working a lot with my womb space, or sometimes even when I want to know about my business or something, I will actually ask my soul, show me through my dreams, because
It's true. You get those ideas, and your mind can be most creative at night.
yes,
And your subconscious can like work out those details that you couldn't figure out during the day.
honestly, it's the most powerful thing. I record my dreams since a long time, but now it's going so crazily deep, and also because I'm more training myself. And what I do in the morning, because I'm too tired to journal it like that. I actually dictate it into like an app, and I just have it like a transcript, and then I can later on
Yeah.
And that's powerful. Every single time it would just show me something that I couldn't reach with my consciousness, because we're going deep there and something is showing, or just simply recalibrating. Let the body do the work. Let it do. It's amazing. Honestly, I wake up like completely new human. It's so powerful because, hey, why would you want to waste 8 hours? Like, just let it, make it intentional. Make it intentional. And yeah, you can even just say, help me to recover faster, speed up my healing process, help me to, like, feel more love, whatever it is, right? Everybody has the different desires and intentions, but it's
Yeah.
powerful, very
It
powerful.
is. It's really about, for the nervous system, it's about getting back to the basics, not making your life complicated. We're trying to simplify things. So
Yeah.
it is. It's the sleep, getting outside, listening to sound, grounding yourself. Those are the basics. Eating well. Mindful eating is a thing. Eat slower. Chew your food.
Yeah, another big topic. Because with the people I work with embodiment, when I, when they tell me they are finished in 10 minutes, and I'm like, and what is your environment you're eating in? Because the way, how you eat, but also your environment. If it's under stress, your body will not even be able to metabolize anything. You can have the best food you want, the best organic food, whatever, but if you eat under stress, your system will not be able to metabolize it. It's like you're trying to eat while you're sprinting, and who can
That
actually?
absolutely happens to me a lot. If I get too tired, or like these weather changes, and it doesn't matter what I eat, my stomach will hurt until okay, we're going to recalibrate here. We're going to get back to sound. We're going to get back to sleep. And then it calms down.
Yes, I love that. It's so powerful. I know there's millions of topics to go into that about the body, but it's amazing. And I know, you know what, when you said about your journey, when I fully understand, when you were in the midst of the breakdowns in your 30s, and like, why is it happening? Punishment, of course, it feels like punishment, but you can see now the gift, because you helped so many other people, and you had to go through this to become an expert in that. You're telling your own story because you embodying it, right? There can be doctors out there who study all that, but if you go through it and you have your own method, how you got through it, and now you help people with the frequency and the mindfulness, isn't that powerful? Isn't that powerful? I always say your
It
biggest
really is.
challenges will become your greatest
And
gift.
that's what, I hope that people, and I forget this at times too, that, we all have a story, and everybody's went through their trauma and their hard days and lessons that they've learned. And hopefully they've learned some lessons. And some of my lessons have had to repeat multiple times. We sometimes are hard headed and we're not getting the message, but we all have a different story to share. The hard times are really what our mission should be in the second half of our life, is to share that wisdom with the younger people and really with everybody, so that it's the collective, right? The collective. We are here to bring light to others. And I started a Facebook private group, this actually a couple weeks ago, called the Tuned In Collective.
Yeah.
At first it was going to be just for women, but I had some technical difficulties, and I it sent it out to all the men that I know too.
Okay.
It was called the Sisterhood, the Tuned In Sisterhood. But all the men joined and they were messaging me. And I'm like, I didn't send you an invite. And because I have a public creator page, it sent it out to everybody. And I was like, okay, this is like my second sign that men really need this healing too.
Mhm. Yeah.
They really bottle their emotions and keep things inside. And I've seen so many success stories now through my sound bath sessions with men, and how much better they feel and how much calmer they are and how less reactive they are and less angry. And so I'm like, you know what? I guess I won't leave the men out. So now I have a group that is for the collective, and it's science, faith, and sound. Just kind of my random thoughts on healing and how sound can change your life.
Powerful. I love that. And it was definitely not an accident at all. It was synchronized, was orchestrated for you, because I love how beautiful you said that the men need the healing, like, really a lot, because they need to really heal the feminine part within them. And we women are actually here to heal the masculine part, because I feel like, you and I are similar with like very driven and ambitious, but also to learn to soften that process. And my best friend as well, we were so good that we have both each other now. We can see that because we're both having our own businesses, and like to still soften. You're still actually not, you're still even more successful. You have more capacity when you actually learn to soften it, to really work with your cycle and your needs, instead of the opposite, right? Because we are so conditioned to push, push, push and go more, 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 but not
Yeah.
actually what I said before, the slowing down. And in the slowing down, you increase your capacity, because slowing down is not about you sit on the couch, do nothing. Maybe at times you really have to just do that, and that's totally fine too. But slowing down, the whole, like your whole thing, slowing it down and really like be intentional with the energy, and not trying to do it all at once, but really be focused, laser sharp, and give your system more time to integrate, because there's so much happening. And that's why I love, like, I know that we'll be blowing off and glowing up your group. And I'm so happy and grateful that you're doing this work and offering that to both sexes, to men and women, which is
Yes.
wonderful.
I think what else I've really seen in people is the creativity that comes out of this. Not only is there physical and emotional type of healing experiences, but the creativity that is coming out. Because if you can calm your system, your mind is ready to go. It's ready to go, and you're listening to your body and your thoughts better. So those ideas that have been stuck somewhere in your mind or your body that for years you just couldn't come up with that or couldn't relax enough to embrace something new, this is giving people that chance to, what is your passion, what is your purpose?
Yeah. And when you create space, that information will come through. You cannot receive that if you're constantly full of things. And busyness doesn't just mean work, kids, and things like that. Even I realized that for myself, I was constantly busy to study something new, to write, because I love writing. That's how I process things. But I also needed to learn to even have more space for God to talk to me, to let information to come through, and
Yes.
constantly busy myself. And yeah, even helping people, constantly helping others, that was also something where I compensated a lot, being in overdrive. Because that's slowing down, your nervous system will not feel safe at first. It's unfamiliar to slow down, and that's the part that everybody has to go through. There's no shortcut. And that's where we have these beautiful tools like the sound healing, meditation, mindfulness, whatever, journaling, whatever, drawing, whatever calms you down. But this is the phase that everybody has to go through. That's just, there's no way
It
around that.
is. Yeah. Yeah. That reminded me of people pleasing, when the people pleasing I've had to deal with a lot.
Yes.
Shadow the shadow work last year that I did too. Yeah, you find out, and sound healing will help you, you know, find those shadows too. Self awareness. I mean, you can't move forward without self awareness
Yeah.
and learning boundaries to protect your energy and your own healing.
That's a whole different,
That's
podcast.
another podcast, boundaries.
It's like, oh my gosh. Honestly, it's not about just the obvious things, but these little things, checking your phone at this time, like being energetically available. That's a big thing for me. Like always being open and available. That is so like,
It's hard, really hard.
yeah, and it's leaking energy. Or like with when you schedule a lot and you say, I'm just sometimes you stretch your time a little bit because it requires you to do that, right? For example, our podcast today, it's usually not my podcasting time, but I said I want to do that. Your Sunday is probably your Sunday evenings, on a podcast, but it's an occasion, right?
Yeah.
When you constantly do that and override your needs, and then it will be leaking energy and it will deplete you. Like if you do little
Yes.
things and they're different, totally fine. But yeah, and it's those subtle things. Yeah. That's why it's
Yeah.
very important to be intentional with your time when you do things. So yeah, my whole day has shifted too about those things. My whole like flow definitely is more aligned with that. And it's still work in progress. And you will change your cycles according to your seasons and needs. Sometimes you have more capacity for things, and sometimes just very little. And then to not,
Yeah, and you just accept it, right? You just got to accept that's the season of your life and it's okay. Like someday you can adjust it. But for now, this is how things have to be, and you just move through it daily.
Yeah, it's just like how we have different seasons with our nature, and I think I used to be a champion at that, beating myself up. When I was at really high and had high capacity, and I could do millions and trillions of things and lots of creation. And when there was a winter coming, into a winter, I was like, I felt like a failure. Oh, what happened? What is going wrong? What's going on? What's wrong? But it was simply
Yeah.
integration and slowing down and actually marveling over all the things that I've created and even going deeper. Sometimes I don't know if you can relate, but I do a lot of things and I create, but then it's all there and I don't really do much with it or execute it, for my business. And then I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I go and have this winter, I said, no, then I really say no more creation right now. Just look at everything you have and then go from there. And then I discover so many things. I'm like, wow, I didn't even know I have written this or created this. And
I know, it's really cool. Yeah, you just kind of sit with it. I've done that too. And then winter, really, I've really noticed with the sound healing, and what I focus on is each month, the different seasons. And winter really is our bodies almost go into hibernation, and your nervous system recognizes the different seasons.
yeah,
And so we need more sleep in the winter. It gets darker earlier, and we need to embrace that and not fight it. And it's hard because sometimes you can't go to bed early. There's different situations and kids and games and all sorts of things, but you do the best you can and try to get more sleep. And when your body's tired, then you need to rest. Like listen to your body is what it comes down to.
yes. And I mean, you're mastering that amazingly well with your four kids, even. Like, I mean, I can only imagine the schedule. And wow, I'm really admiring you. Honestly, that is like that for me, because it's easy for me to say. I mean, not easy to say, but like,
Yeah. And
yeah,
they're older now, so that's helped me also be able to work more and embrace these different things that I do. When they were all little, I was home most of the time with them and just worked very part-time. And so that was the season of growing, and learning. I started researching natural healing and health things when my kids were tiny. And now my oldest one is going to be 23 this week.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And then my youngest one, I have two in high school, but I actually have three out of my four kids are graduating, two from college and one from high school in May of this year. So,
Lots of radiation
yeah.
going on. Powerful. You should be so proud of yourself. That is an accomplishment itself. It's amazing.
Thank
And
you.
are they doing sound healing as well? Do they love it? Are they interested in that or not?
No, it's funny. I think my children think I'm crazy, and it's fine.
Yes, it's good. Crazy mama.
Like they have their own journeys to go on, and not everybody's going to understand what I'm doing. And I guess that's the thing that I've had to overcome the last year too, is not everybody's going to understand, and I can't worry about what other people think about me. I'm still going to post on Facebook and social media what I'm doing because I know it helps some people. So, yeah, some people may not relate and they might really think I'm crazy. That crazy realtor doing sound healing, but I know what it did for me. And so I am fine telling other people about it so that they can see if it works for them too.
Powerful. I love that.
All right, I'll do the tuning fork sound right quick. This is something you can do 1 minute a day. These are the pure frequency tuning
Yeah.
forks. There's weighted ones, and then these are just the sound ones. I love doing these just around my head. I do this at the beginning of my sound baths. These are the 384 and the 256 hertz, and they are the sound of a symphony. And your body just knows this frequency. It helps with brain fog in the afternoon, anxiety, and if you do something like that every day, it only takes 2 to 4 minutes to work with tuning forks.
I already felt like something in my body with the tuning forks. Yeah.
Oh, good.
That is how powerful it is. It's amazing. I love that. Thank you for showing your beautiful gift. It was really powerful. And now, two more things. Like, what is your didn't do it, never stop message? Like anything, like you would tell people to do this and never stop, like for what you learned for your life. It could be anything. What drops in for you right now?
Life lessons, huh? I would say life lesson would be if you can learn from the hard things that you've gone through. kind of like I said earlier, and turn that into your purpose and your passion, and really align yourself with that. And especially as you get into your, middle-aged years, as I am now, you start to slow down in a different way and reflect differently and realize that you can't keep running 100 miles per hour your whole life. There comes a time when it's time to pivot. It's time to, and your body will tell you when, to use that wisdom and what you've learned and really align with your gifts and your talents as you've learned who you are over the years. And if you can really dig in, and if you're not sure who you are, start learning who you are. Start following your passions, because your subconscious mind makes up a lot of our decisions for us, and it drives our decisions. Your subconscious mind really knows what your passions are. And so if you listen to those little gut feelings, those little intuitions of maybe I should go do this, or maybe I should try that, go try it. Go see what you're good at and see what you love, and use that to help other people, because that's really what all of our purpose is here, is to share your light with other people.
Very powerful. Very powerful. Thank you for this. And I could not agree more. And lastly, where can people find you if they want to work with you or even join your new group, your private group?
Yes. Well, I'm hoping to launch an online coaching program soon. So I'm working on the technical difficulties of that. Not super tech savvy. So I'm hoping to do some online coaching, but also obviously in person, and the traveling sound baths. You can find me on Facebook at Kylie Eddington. Also, Echoes of Healing Sound Bath Events is also there. And then, of course, the new private Facebook group called the Tuned In Collective. You can find me on there.
Okay, perfect. Awesome.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming on again, for sharing your wisdom, your energy, your light. It was so revealing, and there's so much. So thank you. There was also part of me that healed and needed to hear a lot of things to get my week started. And
you always brighten my day when I talk to you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, same. It's like a beautiful sunshine connection, which I love. And thank you so much for everything you do. Keep shining a light. And guys, thank you so much for dropping in. If anything, you have any questions, something that resonated or didn't resonate, you have questions, please drop in the comments below or contact me or Kylie directly. We are always happy to answer your questions, and it can be anything controversial. We love that. And I hope this episode activated you and recalibrated your frequency. You can feel it and you can fully resonate with it. And I am so excited. Until next time. Thank you for tuning in to Din's Talk. I hope today's conversation sparked something within you. Remember, you have the power to align with your soul, take bold action, and live a life fueled by passion. Don't forget to subscribe, share with others, and leave a comment if this episode resonated with you. And as always, do it, never stop. Until next time, keep claiming your fire and your power.